Well, I had never been on a podcast with two brothers. I had never been on a podcast which allowed me to speak more about wrestling than cricket. I had never been on a podcast where I think I felt like I knew the two guys who were interviewing me from a long, long time. So it tells you a lot about the two wonderful people who host the Taking It Slow podcast. So if I was you, I would subscribe, I would like, I would follow these two because not just because they're two MBA guys who make a lot of money, but I think if you listen to them somewhere, you'll also learn how to make a lot of money.
It's a Sunday, you know what that means. It's time to take it slow. विशु नरेंद्र मोदी स्टेडियम वाला मैच दिखा कि नहीं देखा?
यार देखने का टाइम ही नहीं मिला मेरे को कि वो इतनी जल्दी खत्म हो गया. मैंने सोचा था कि मैं लास्ट 4-5 डेज में देखूंगा.
I mean, the jokes write themselves here. नरेंद्र मोदी स्टेडियम, अंबानी एंड रिलायंस एंड, मे बी पिंक बॉल की जगह पे ऑरेंज बॉल होना चाहिए था.
या सैफरन बॉल होना चाहिए था यार. नहीं यार,
Saffron
आई
होना
थिंक
चाहिए
इट वर्क वेल, वरना वो फिर एक ही दिन में खत्म होने वाला था. अच्छा था. एंड टू द लिसनर्स, दिस इज गोइंग टू बी अ क्रिकेट पॉडकास्ट. तो
Cricket
तुम
heavy
बोलो,
podcast, yes.
या तो तुम you'll see Duju, we are very excited, and you'll look at me like I'm taking a class.
We had a game in the biggest ever stadium, which is the renovated Motera Stadium, which used to be called the Motera Stadium, now is called the
Yeah,
Narendra Modi Stadium. So Vishu,
rightly
मैं
so. Rightly so.
rightly, absolutely rightly so. So I was just wondering कि और क्या क्या कर सकते थे मोदी जी को. उनको खुद इनॉग्रेट करने आना चाहिए था क्या? अपने नाम का
नहीं
स्टेडियम
नहीं
खुद
यार,
इनॉग्रेट करते तो खूब लगता क्या?
वो नहीं यार, क्योंकि अभी आई एम वेटिंग फॉर दोज मैसेजेस इन व्हाट्सएप ग्रुप कि मोदी जी चाहते ही नहीं थे कि उनके नाम पे हो. वो तो लोगों ने बोला, डिमांड आई
प्यार है
पब्लिक से.
लोगों का, प्यार है
हाँ,
लोगों का. हाँ.
इसलिए आई एम जस्ट वेटिंग फॉर दीज मैसेजेस. वरना वो नहीं चाहते अपना नाम कहीं पे भी.
तो
वो
मेरे
बस
एक
सेवा
दोस्त
करना चाहते हैं.
मेरे एक और दोस्त है जो काफी मोदी जी को पसंद करता है, एंड उसने
वो मैं ही हूँ
बोला
क्या?
कि तू मेरा दोस्त है वैसे. एनीवे, सो उसने बोला कि यार तुम लोगों ने बाकी ऐसे लैंडमार्क्स देखे क्या? इंदिरा गांधी इंटरनेशनल स्टेडियम, राजीव गांधी स्टेडियम, जवाहरलाल नेहरू स्टेडियम, और ये नरेंद्र मोदी स्टेडियम हो गया तो क्या हुआ? मैंने कहा यार एक बेसिक चीज है जो इन चीजों में अलग है. ऑल ऑफ दोस पीपल आर डेड.
या दैट्स ट्रू. पता नहीं यार, ठीक है, मेरे को तो इतना प्रॉब्लम नहीं लगा वैसे, टू बी वेरी ऑनेस्ट.
I also wondered if the toolkit for this stadium was made by Yogi ji. See how I inserted 3 jokes
Wow,
there.
so many references. पता नहीं यार, but मैं तो I'm in a government job. I support it. Like, even if I was not.
I'm really excited for this podcast because it features the two things that I love most. Cricket and wrestling. Yes, I like wrestling. I still follow wrestling. You can judge me all you want, but the guest that we have today also likes wrestling. So in your faces, people. He's a very noted writer in the cricket circles. He's the author of Mahendra Singh Dhoni's biography, The Dhoni Touch. It was the bestseller across the country. He presently works for CricBuzz as their Australian correspondent. He writes a number of brilliant pieces. He was formerly with the Indian Express, and we are very privileged to have him here, and can't wait to get going, man. Without any further ado, let's dive right in, people. Vishu, I haven't been this excited and this buzzed to record a podcast in like forever. We've been doing this for 7-8 months now, and this is the earliest that we've woken up to record a podcast. I'm really looking forward to it, man, because we're going to talk about things I'm really nerdy about. Things that I really
it's a mix of both.
like doing for myself. Yeah. We have none other than the author of the Dhoni Touch, formerly with Indian Express. Now he's working with CricBuzz as one of the best cricket writers in the country. Absolutely delighted to welcome Bharat Sundaresan on the Taking It Slow podcast. Hi Bharat, how are you, man?
Doing very good, guys. And I think you guys are buzzing because, like you said, you've never woken up this early. So, like I said off air, I've done something that your parents couldn't do for all these years. And also, I've never been on a podcast with two brothers. I'm really looking forward to this.
Nice. Bharat, let us address the elephant in the room as we get started. what happened in the Motera test match, dude? 2 days maybe. Okay, let me run down some facts here. Though the shortest test match in terms of length ever since 1935, post-war, the shortest test match. Probably the third lowest scoring test match of all time. एक T20 था सेम डे पे ऑस्ट्रेलिया एंड न्यूजीलैंड का, उसमें ज्यादा रन बने थे than the test match put together. What happened?
Indian spinners are getting better.
I think it was just idiotic batting really from both teams. Like, I think Virat Kohli was right to an extent. It was just very unprofessional batting. And this is what happens now. यही होता है जब आप spin यहाँ खेलते हो और like
Correct.
pitch नहीं खेलते हो. So you could see, especially with the way the English batsmen were getting out. Yeah, India also collapsed, but India's collapse almost looked freakier than England's collapse, purely because they just looked out of depth at many levels, and they had in some ways the best of the conditions. Like they win
Won
the
the
toss.
toss.
Yeah, and
Yeah.
you should and we are not even looking at them making 300, just putting 200, 220 on the board. They could have made a match of it, but yeah, but they are not the first team to go to India, play on a pitch that everybody's saying is a Turner, lose there, and then it just gets into your head, right? We saw South Africa in 2015 as well, because I don't think it was a poor pitch. Yeah, the Pune one where Australia won,
That was a weird pitch. That was a weird pitch.
That was a poor pitch. But this one was just I mean, people getting out to the straight ball. That again tells you that batting now.
21 out of 30 wickets that fell to straight balls. So I've been following the aftermath, so to speak, and the English media has lost it big time. I was listening to Rob Q on Sky Sports. I was listening to Simon Hughes, and they've gone batshit crazy. They're acting as if they're playing on the Roland Garros clay and not a Motera pitch. And I was semi-wondering if they'll remove Jack Cullis from their batting consultant role and bring in Rafael Nadal to teach them how to bat on the next time onwards. Itna bura to pitch nahi tha yaar. Although the talk has been more compounded because India didn't do well as well. But yesterday itself, I was speaking to a friend of mine trying to decode all the wickets that fell. Rohit fell to a poor shot. Kohli fell to a poor shot. Rahane fell to a poor shot. Rishabh Pant chased one outside. Akshar Patel fell to a poor shot. Shubman Gill fell to a T20 shot. So India shouldn't have lost those many wickets for these few runs, and that just makes the mirage of the wicket being poor even stronger.
Yeah, I mean, there was turn. I mean, let's face it. It wasn't a flat batting beauty where collapsed. There was turn. There was some dust, coming off it from the top layer when some balls were pitching in certain spots. But having said that, the secret is to when you get your eye. Look, even yesterday when Joe Root and Dom Sibley were batting, it looked like TK, yaar. I mean, it wasn't that bad a pitch. Even though it was just a partnership of 5 or 6 overs, but it felt like a long partnership. And then the shot that Sibley played, that's where, right? And I've always said this: nowhere does karma bite you in the bottom as much as it does when you play Test cricket in India. You cannot play shots like that and get away, because there will be balls which will be unplayable from a spinner, or maybe if one ball will stay low and it'll get you out. But that can happen. But on a good day, or on any day, when you seem to have got some idea of playing on a pitch and you play a shot like that and get out, it's never going to be kind on you. We saw it with Rory Burns, and that's what matters, right? See, if England, all they needed in the second innings was maybe if three guys get 25, and between everyone else, if they'd even got 40, 50, 60 runs, I mean, India might have still chased it down with 0 wickets. But
10 wickets in hand, just FYI.
Yeah, but at least the target of 124 just looks much, much bigger than 49. You know what I mean? So it's all psychological anyway. So, I think it was just very, very ordinary batting. And with regards to the English media and all that, वो तो होता ही है यार. I mean, it's like the most एक ज़माने में, अगर कोई इंजरी भी होके like in the 80s इंजर होके कोई प्लेयर मिस करेगा तो भी हिस्ट्री will always remember it कि नहीं कुछ तो उसने खाया होगा like you know and that's even if it's a hamstring pull somewhere it'll always go back to
Yeah.
नहीं होटल में खाना ठीक नहीं था so that's how it's always been.
This is also indicative of the downward trend that England has been on since the first test. I mean, first test mein it was all very pally, everybody's acting nice. Virat Kohli is helping people get rid of their cramps and everything. उसके बाद second test में Joe Root has started to argue with the umpires. Third test में he has completely lost it. मेनन के साथ argue कर रहा है. It is not about the decision. It is about the process. It is almost reminded me of me arguing with my wife. I'm not upset about the decision that we have made. It is the process that we followed that I'm not happy with. So England started to lose it mentally also.
Firstly, I'm not sure why you and your wife are speaking like it's Greg Chappell doing a press conference talking about processes and like decisions and results and all that.
I want democracy in the house.
It is not what you said; it is how you said it.
I hope you're not. You don't go around saying that. No, see, at the end of the day, the result is not in our hands. I hope you don't use that when it comes to certain facets of your marital relationship. But it was. See, with the umpires thing, I think we saw Virat Kohli also arguing with Nitin Menon. And from a very objective view, if you see the umpires, I think have done well. I mean, they did well in the Australians did well in Australia.
Yes.
The two Pauls and even Bruce Oxenford, and these three guys have done really, really well. I thought Virender Sharma, Anil Chaudhary, and of course
Nitin Menon.
Narendra Menon was his father. Nitin Menon. So I think it's
just a
mistake. And see, it's just you expect a team like any visiting team to kind of lose it when you mentally when you're losing on the field the way they are. But at least I haven't seen any, to use an Aussie expression, aji baji between the Indians and the English players so far. I don't think that's going to happen. Even yesterday, for me, it was very interesting when Joe Root was walking out to bat in the second innings. I don't know whether you guys noticed, Virat Kohli had this big smile welcoming him to the middle, and they both exchanged the smile. So these things are, I don't think it's going to be a flare-up that way. But I'm sure they're waiting to at least not play with a pink ball for a while, both these teams.
Is it the quality of batting that is the difference between the two sides, or is it the quality of Indian spinners that has stood heads and shoulders above the England spinners? Would Indian batsmen be doing anywhere close to how they've been doing if they would have been facing the Indian spinners?
No, they would have struggled as well. I think the Indian spinners, I mean, Ashwin is at a different league. You can't compare a Jack Leach or a Dom Bess to him. But in Akshar Patel, you have someone who knows exactly what to do on these pitches, right? I mean, he's day in, day out, he's bowled on these pitches, right? And he's not a newbie. Like, he's been playing first-class cricket for the last 5-6 years. So, and he did not have a great record at Motera before this. So, he'll be very happy with the new stadium and with the way the pitch is behaving right now. But to Jack Leach's credit, I think he's really improved from what I saw of him during the Ashes 2 years ago, and definitely from that first test when Rishabh Pant went after him. So his consistency is definitely improved. So, and that's why he got so many wickets. So I think that this Indian batting lineup would definitely have struggled. Maybe they would have collapsed the same way if they had to face Ashwin and Akshar Patel on that pitch. So I think it's just been the difference has been the Indian bowling, and I mean, there was no doubts about it, right? Like, you have one guy who's taken his 400 test wicket, and you look at the other side of the fence, you have Dom Bess and
Joe Root has the best 5-4 in history, man.
Exactly. A very underrated bowler. He's a good part-time bowler. I think he is almost in that Virender Sehwag kind of mode. Like, he's that level. So I think Virender Sehwag had a much prettier off-spinning action, but he's not a bad off-spinner, to be honest. Like, you can expect him to land the ball in the same spot. He doesn't bowl too many loose balls. Like, just not just yesterday, but if you look at his spells, and he's taken actually a lot of important wickets in crunch situations for England. Like, so him, Michael Clarke, Virender Sehwag, they, I think, just a cut above just part-time bowlers. So I think Manas Labuschagne is also at that
In
level,
that
but
category,
they just
yes.
don't use him enough. But an all-rounder, no, he's definitely not the next Ian Botham. Yeah.
So opening bowler, probably the best batsman of the side. Maybe the next Ian Botham. They've been looking for the next
Yeah.
Ian Botham in Ben Stokes. Maybe they've been looking at the wrong place all this while.
They were looking for the next Ian Botham from the time Ian Botham came onto the scene. So it's been a long time. So that wait will never end. Like, yeah. So at least in India, we've stopped talking about. I mean, in India also, technically, we're still looking for the next Kapil Dev, right? Hardik Pandya, maybe once he starts bowling long spells, could come back into that debate. But yeah, so it's just one of those things, man. I don't
Dude, in
really
India,
think.
we've still been looking for the next Irfan Pathan. Kapil Dev ki kahan pe ja rahe ho?
Oh, that is true. And I think in Ravindra Jadeja, you have a world-class all-rounder. You don't have to go looking for Kapil Dev. सबको ऐसा bowling करने का जरूरत नहीं है. Yeah.
So what happens in Akshar Patel's case? Like when Ravindra Jadeja comes back,
He
No,
has.
of course.
I'm pretty sure he has started enrolling in sword fighting lessons abhi already, so that he can compete with Jadeja on every level.
I don't think he can officially. He's from the wrong part of Gujarat to be like a sport
Correct.
fighter.
Correct.
So I grew up in Ghatkopar. Yeah, I know all about my Gujarati history. Yeah, so I'm surrounded by Gujaratis. I've had been all my life. So no, but I think of course he'd know. And this just tells you about the depth in Indian
and the
cricket.
competition, yeah.
I mean, it was always there, but now it's
Hmm.
really in the last 3 or 4 months we've seen it. Right? Like for example, with T. Natarajan, he had a decent
Hmm.
debut, but he's
Yeah.
never going to play Test cricket for India again because he was never supposed to be in the Test squad. He will play T20 and maybe even one-day cricket for the next few years. That's how it's going to be. Like there's no
Hmm.
comparison between Akshar Patel and Ravindra Jadeja. Like man to man at
Correct.
this point. And well, Akshar Patel is 27, so I can't even say he could be the next Ravindra Jadeja because Ravindra Jadeja, with his fitness, I know he's been getting
Yeah.
hit a lot, but with his
Hmm,
fitness, he could easily play for another 5 or 6 years. By which time, Akshar Patel, we might have seen 3 or more Akshar Patels come through the ranks. So
And
Yeah.
also, Akshar Patel is nowhere close to the sword fighting skills, and that is going to be the official reason in my head, no matter what you say.
fair enough.
Speaking of Akshar Patel and Jadeja, so we have 3 frontline spinners, 3 world-class spinners. Should we choose to play 3 spinners? So my question to you, Bharat, is what alternate career option should Kuldeep Yadav look at now? He's clearly not good at dancing. We've seen that in Ashwin's video. So what are the other
Yeah.
career options that he could try? Maybe finance, maybe LIC agent. What can he do?
One thing I've noticed with Kuldeep Yadav off the field is he seems to talk to everyone. Like, he's the most affable guy. In Australia, I saw he did not play a single game, right? Or he hardly played.
Yeah.
But he spoke to everyone. Like, at times, I would see him have long chats with Cameron Green. I'm like, they've never met each other before. So I think he's the irony in all this is I think he's bowling better than he has in a long time. It's just one of those freakish periods in Indian cricket where he's not getting a game because India want to get the balance right. And see, if he had played this game again, he would have gone 2 test matches where he barely bowled. So it's just one of those things. I still believe the way Kuldeep Yadav is bowling in the nets, and having spoken to the coaching staff a lot, how they think about him, he will end up playing a lot of tests. See, because this is how it is, right? Ashwin correctly said he might not have even played the first test, and who knows, maybe not played a single test if Jadeja had been fit. Injuries always happen, and Kuldeep Yadav will get his go. Maybe he will be the India's lead spinner at Lords or wherever they're going to play this World Test Championship final. Because I think by now India is going to make it, right? Unless England pull off a miracle.
I don't know. So there has been a lot of talk of us being deducted points from the WTC table for the poor pitch. So my theory was make another fuck all pitch, make another dust bowl, and then make sure that you're getting another win for the next test match. Chahe usme bhi points deduct ho, but get the required points to qualify. You make another dust bowl and just get done with it, abhi.
Well, not a bad idea at all.
So since we have so many players, should India look for that rotation policy?
So anyway, rotation to hota hi rehta hai with Virat Kohli's captaincy. So the English style of rotation, it's a unique one. I don't think any other country plays around with these playing combinations as much as England do. And it's not even new. They've been doing it for the longest time. Yeah, like in one-day cricket. If you remember, go back in time, they were the first country I can remember who had like sort of semi-specialist squads, right? Like one day mein ye log khelega, white ball specialist and red ball specialist. I mean, the terms weren't in vogue back then, but abhi sabhi baat kar rahe hain uske bare mein. So I think they've always been different, and उनका वो सब भी बहुत होता है यार कि वो प्लेयर को प्रोटेक्ट करो, ये इसको लाइक मुझे नहीं समझ में आता है. लाइक इफ आई वाज Jofra Archer, I'm like, you know, bowling at 175 kilometers an hour, and like the world is my oyster, I would want to play every match na, because the sportsman ka career hota hai itna. Like I was speaking to someone the other day, if Anderson and Broad were treated the same, or not treated, or cared for the same way Jofra Archer is being cared for now.
Good save.
Yeah, but they would not even have reached 250 test wickets, right? Like they wouldn't have had played enough matches to get there. So it's just one of those things. But you know, I mean, there's a lot of science that goes into that. So it's we just living in this bizarre times, man. I said this on Mel's show as well. Whoever is writing scripts for Indian cricket in the last 2 or 3 months is very, very high on something. Yeah, he's high on a lot of things.
Yeah, I say it would be pretty difficult to forge friendships also, na, with this much chopping and changing dressing room में.
Today you are sitting साइड में बेन स्टोक्स बैठा है, कल कोई और आके बैठ गया, परसों जॉनी बेस्टो आके बैठ गया. So the campaign led to Ashwin. Do your teammates actually like you? Would be more suited for Joe Root probably. Do you even know your teammates? Do you
exactly.
even know?
Yeah, I know. That's a much fairer question than like, yeah, whether they like you or not.
Just to round off the discussion about the test match, I like to quote 2 tweets from 2 different people.
Right.
One by an Indian, one by an Englishman.
Correct.
Yuvraj Singh tweeted out, if these sort of pitches would have been in the era of Harbhajan and Anil Kumble, they would have both ended with 1,000 wickets each. Anyway, congratulations Akshar and Ashwin, well pulled. Really well pulled. Congratulations, etc. How not to congratulate someone 101. So, and Graham Swan then tweeted, Virat Kohli worked his socks off to counter Jimmy Anderson in nippy English conditions. English batsmen have to work hard to counter these spin conditions, cannot complain.
Yeah.
Which side of the spectrum do you fall on?
I understand where both of them are coming from.
Yep.
Graham Swan is a very smart man. And like, you know, for many reasons, like, yeah. And
Many reasons, yes.
For many reasons. And honestly, yeah, like you need to be smart in today's day and age, the way the market is, especially the commentary market and the cricket market. Like, yeah, and it's not about sucking up. That's not what I was hinting at all. But it's about like being fair when you need to pick between being fair, where you need to be objective, where you need to bring out your, like, you know, so, and Twitter is an interesting thing as well, right? Like social media at times allows you to be that, like, you know, unhinged self. But at the same time, आपको थोड़ा वो careful भी रहना पड़ता है कब आप कहाँ हो और कभी है अभी next series क्या क्या हो रहा है वो सब. And it's like, you know, it's serious. That's how it is. Like, you know, it's not even like you can't even call someone a suck up or नहीं यार वो ऐसा क्यों कर रहा है, ऐसा कुछ नहीं है. And with the Yuvraj Singh tweet, it's the most common thing, yeah. Like it's basically like my era strongest. वो तो होता ही है ना. I mean, like, yeah, जो भी मेरा time पे था वो और difficult था, वो तो हम भी life में बोलता ही है ना. ठीक है यार, अभी तो बच्चे कुछ भी आराम से एडमिशन मिल जाता है.
मेरे वो डैड ट्वीट जो होता है ना, डैड ट्वीट एकदम वो.
हाँ वही. और डैड बनने का जरूरत भी नहीं है. लाइक हम भी करते हैं अभी देख यार वो तो देख कितना मुश्किल था. मैं जब भी जर्नलिज्म में आया क्या क्या करना पड़ता था. अभी देख तो सीधा आ जाता है ट्विटर से कोई. तो
अभी तो इंटरनेट है.
Exactly. So I think it's a classic one. Yeah, see, Harbhajan can't tweet it anymore because it seems so petty. So, you know, Yuvraj does it. So here's the whole thing. I mean, you just wait and watch. Like when I don't know, think of some under 19 spinner now when he takes his 700 test wicket in his 45th test match, like Ashwin will say the same thing. If I had played, I would have taken 2,000 wickets. That will never change.
Yeah. So moving beyond the test discussion, we'll come to the main event. We'll come to the actual big event that is going on in Indian cricket. Test match सब चलते रहते हैं. World Test Championship ठीक है, साइड में रखो अभी. Let's come to IPL. Last week auction हुआ and a number of weird as F stories, a number of people becoming millionaires, billionaires overnight. People, wives asking cricketers, why are you not a fast bowler? Why have you become a batsman? First question to start you off, Bharat. could Arjun Tendulkar have been picked up by any other franchise? And if so, where would he have fit? If not Mumbai Indians.
Nah, I don't think he would have gone to any other franchisee. Like you can look at it in many ways. Nah, यार हम बोल सकते हैं कि we can be the ultimate cynic and say, अरे ये तो यार तेंदुलकर का बेटा है उधर जा रहा है. But you never know. Yeah, the IPL is a funny business in the sense like you never know who can suddenly become an overnight star. I mean, look at a lot of guys who are playing for India right now, like Hardik Pandya and Jasprit Bumrah and all that. Like, not even people who are covering cricket had not heard much about them. I'll be honest, like I'd seen Hardik Pandya in a Syed Mushtaq Ali tournament, so I knew who he was. Like I'd seen him, he was making a name for himself. But Jasprit Bumrah, if any cricket journalist tells you, "Mujhe to pata hi tha, yaar, ye star banega," he's lying, because he or she is lying, because not unless you really covered Gujarat cricket like very intently. They might have seen him, but not many of us had really noticed him, because he'd really not set the world on fire before he took those wickets. And again, timing, like I told you, right? Amitabh Bachchan tweeting about him, all those things help. And then, of course, he's gone on to understandably become a superstar, because he is a superstar bowler. So, I mean, Arjun Tendulkar, or koi team to jaane nahi wala tha. You always knew it. He was always going to go to Mumbai Indians. But what they do with him, who knows? Is he going to get a game? Is it like a long-term investment? You never know, man. He's a Tendulkar at the end of the day, right?
Yep.
So maybe he will just like fade away. Who knows? Or maybe he's the next superstar. And if he is, imagine being Mumbai Indians and saying, "I bought him for just 20 lakh."
यार अर्जुन तेंदुलकर का तो आई वाज थिंकिंग कि some other franchisee could have just fucked with Mumbai कि let's start bidding, because they knew कि जाएगा तो ये मुंबई के पास ही, like they must have clear instructions कि अर्जुन तेंदुलकर को तुम्हारे पास ही आना है. And the fact that he was up for auction at the last, मतलब उस बंदे के ऊपर कितना प्रेशर रहने वाला है पूरे टाइम. वी टॉक अबाउट ऋषभ पंत के उसके ऊपर इतना प्रेशर है टू परफॉर्म लाइक धोनी. So अर्जुन तेंदुलकर के ऊपर पूरी लाइफ कितना प्रेशर रहने वाला है. हाउ इज ही गोइंग टू परफॉर्म?
Even Rishabh Pant. So I remember reading one of Jared Kimber's articles. I think Donald Bradman's son changed his name to Bradson so that people stop addressing him.
Yeah, he's gone back to Bradman. They don't live too far from where I do, actually, in Adelaide. But he's gone back to Bradman now. But I mean, it's give and take, no, yaar. I mean, at one end you can say, yaar, it's unfair to criticize him because like he's got the name, but you can also then look at like how many kids, how many people in the world have got to bowl at Lords and Melbourne, MCG, and like that has a lot to do with who his father is. So I mean, it'll balance out at some point. Eventually, it'll come down to does he have the talent and the goods to perform, or whether he has the talent or not, can he perform or not, right? We've seen it with Rohan Gavaskar. Like he had like that maybe like a 1.5 year period where he did well. He did okay. He came here to Australia, had that decent tour. But after a point, your name can only take you to a certain point. And I think about his name popping up last, I thought it was strategically done. Right then, most of the teams had like could not even raise the paddle, right? They were out of contention. Their day was done. So maybe only a couple of teams left. I think by then they were like, "Theek hai, yaar, rakh lo."
I think one of the reasons that he came up last was also to keep people engaged, because many non-serious watchers of the IPL auction, they were just waiting कि हाँ अर्जुन तेंदुलकर का भी पता चल जाए, but they didn't even know the names of the people who went for like 14 crores. You'll get brands.
And I'll use that as a perfect segue to talk about like our real love. And like, see, the Royal Rumble mein agar tumko kisi ko introduce karna hai, they'll rarely pop up in the first 10. They'll always be between 15 and 30. Like whether it's AJ Styles or those, like, it's always, they keep you waiting, and then like, it rarely will be number 30. Because usko enough time nahi milega to showcase him. So I mean, it's all TV, man.
It'll be either 1 or post 15 then.
Yeah. I mean, see, the IPL auction is a TV product, so we have to accept that. Like, players get bought and sold and all that. Not sold, but bought. But it's made for TV. Like, if it was not a TV product, they would just do it behind closed doors and nobody would watch it, right? And the fact that Fox Sports this time got the rights to broadcast it in Australia for the first time just tells you, right? And like you see a lot of Australians being sold. So it is a TV product.
It is a TV program. Yeah.
Bharat, you just spoke about a lot of Australians being sold. Why the fuck are they being sold for so much? I mean, is it just to do with the Big Bash being broadcasted at at a watchable time in India? Or South
Maybe.
Africa has a T20 league as well. New Zealand has a T20 league as well. There is something that exists in the name of CPL too. PSL तो मैं नहीं जाऊंगा. हर्षा बोगले ने खुद अभी देखना शुरू किया, तो PSL के बारे में बात नहीं करूंगा ज़्यादा मैं. But there are a number of other leagues as well. Riley Meredith going for 8 crores for Indian pitches. Dan Christian, मतलब 37-year-old ऑलराउंडर, वही डैन क्रिस्टियन जो डेक्कन चार्जर्स के लिए कभी खेला करता था एक टाइम पे, ही स्टिल गोइंग फॉर 5 crores. मोजेस हेनरिकेस, जाय रिचर्डसन, मैक्सवेल का तो अलग ही स्टोरी है. ही समवेयर आई एग्री विद हर्षा, अगर किसी को इंक्रीमेंट लगना हो ईयर ऑन ईयर तो ऐसा लगे, चाहे तुम्हारा कैसा भी फकवाल परफॉर्मेंस रहे, बट इंक्रीमेंट हर साल ऐसा लगना चाहिए जैसे मैक्सवेल का लगता है. सो व्हाई आर ऑस्ट्रेलियंस गोइंग फॉर सो मच एंड why are so many Australians getting picked up in the first place?
Well, there are a variety of reasons for it. Like, एक तो ये mini auction होता है ऐसा. Like, you know, generally mini auction. If I was a player, I would want to be bought during a mini auction because ज़्यादा पैसा होता है और कम player होता है, and no team is looking to really form the core of the team, ना. Like, you know, and again, all back to timing, right? तुम्हारा अगर if it's one of those big auctions, and if your name pops up in the first 3, 4, or even first 7 or 8 rounds. Most teams at that point still trying to figure out their core, so they might not look for this mega fast bowler at that point. Maybe they'll come back to that later. So it's the mini auctions are very interesting that way. Like, most of the big buys happen then. Whether they get retained or not remains to be seen. And it's a good time to buy as well, right? You can always release them before the big auction next year or retain them. And see, there are a lot of Australian coaches, so like, you know, you can draw some parallels with that. So and you know, T20 teams, we look at them as like, you know, the best should always play the best in every tournament and all that. Or like the utopian way to look at it is like, you know, people should pick people from the Euro League and the CPL and all that as well. But you also need to look at how they fit into your team, like, you know, ethos, not in terms of how behavior and all, but in terms of their cricketing credentials and their cricketing caliber and all that, and how comfortable the coaches are dealing with them. Like, you know, now we have a T20 world where a lot of coaches travel everywhere, and there are some players who just travel everywhere. And I'm not surprised Dan Christian went to RCB, who never won an IPL title, because he's won a bloody IPL title with every other team. Not IPL.
Sorry, lucky charm के लिए ले लिया है बस.
I mean, I actually personally really like Dan Christian as a cricketer. So, काफी smart cricketer है वो. He could have won Pune the title in 2000.
Yep, he could have. He
was 17. Yeah, he almost came close.
17.
Came down to the yes, yeah, exactly. Last over. So, ये तो होता है यार. I mean, and with Riley Meredith, they're saying like he's got this genuine pace. I mean, it was funny. Like, poor guy, वो कभी Asia भी आया नहीं है life में. So अभी भी वो he still refers to his, or he's not still, but the day he got picked, he was still referring to his IPL franchise as Punjab. So yeah, I had to kind of slip in a word कि यार उसको at least इतना पैसे दे रहा है अभी, but उसका गलती नहीं है. Like, you know, he's not even ever traveled to Asia. So, and imagine, right, how many people would have traveled to India for the first time. Like, you know, and before you've come to India for the first time, you've been paid so much money to come to India. That's a good point. There you go.
Yeah.
Just putting something out there. Zai Richardson 14 crores. Jasprit Bumrah is on 7 crores. Just putting it out there.
Well, but 7 crores, but like, you know, when players get retained by franchises, they get a lot more, like, you know, because it's not like
fair.
Yeah. And again, see, he was bought so many years ago in the auction, so it's not like it's never going to tally. I mean, it's the same as Yuvraj Singh saying, "Oh, हमारे time पे ये pitch होता तो वैसा होता." And I'm sure Jasprit Bumrah is not complaining because it's 7 crores on paper, but you know, that loyalty with Mumbai Indians, especially a franchisee like Mumbai Indians who take care of their players better than I from what I've heard, better than any other franchise in the IPL. Maybe Chennai.
How so? Can you tell us a little more about that? So we are absolute laymen in that field.
I mean, I can't get into the details of the finances, not because I'm hiding anything from you, because I myself am not 100% aware of, like, you know, but you hear about it, right? Like, there are like a lot of incentives to stay with the franchisee when you do get retained. It's not, I mean, officially, of course, there will be a figure, but there's a lot more. And, you know, you're with the biggest company in India, man. Like I'm sure there are lots of other things. Like, and they even guys who played like one season with them, like Dominic Thornley, who played in the
Yeah.
first ever season. I remember
Yeah.
interviewing him a couple of years ago, and he spoke about how a few years ago they had like some sort of reunion, maybe the 10th year reunion. So he was sent like this jersey and something, a few other perks or like memorabilia. And I think he was even sent a ticket to come all the way to Bombay to attend the big party, and like
Wow.
so those things. There's a lot
Yeah,
that
yeah.
happens. Like, yeah, so they get taken care of well. Let me just put it that way. So it's much more than just the IPL fee.
You were just mentioning the Australia New Zealand series. RCB fans wouldn't have been liking the Australia New Zealand series that's been going on.
Kyle Jamieson 15 crores, Maxwell 14.25 crores. Both have tanked big time. So I have a couple of friends who are RCB supporters, and they're already looking forward to the next auction. कि हाँ ठीक है इस बार तो ठीक है we fucked up big time. अगले auction में देखते हैं कुछ अच्छा आता है तो.
Yeah, I mean, what a problem, and like if I was a player bought in an auction, I would not want to play anything between the auction and playing for my team. Yeah, because it can only what could they do which could
So there's nothing to gain. There's nothing to
nothing
gain.
to gain.
Yeah.
Like you can only go down from there. Like when you're not playing for the all eyes are on you. Everybody's like, oh, you are the new 15 crore man, or you're the 16 crore man. And like, yeah. One thing I've seen with Glenn Maxwell, I don't think it's going to affect him at all. He has, I mean, they used to call him the Big Show, but of course,
Big
the Big Show that we should be talking about is the one who went to AEW. I still don't
yes.
know what role he's going
Bharat,
to play.
trust me, I have a separate section planned for all our nerdgasm.
So
This was news to me. Okay, Big Show is AEW.
Yeah.
Huh?
Okay.
Yesterday, 2
Yeah.
days back.
When
What rock have you been living under, dude?
yeah, I've been living under a rock called MS Excel for the last 2 days.
Oh.
My sympathies.
So we were talking about Jamieson and Maxwell.
You're talking
Yeah,
about
I mean,
Maxwell's-
Maxwell is like he's got more confidence in himself than I at times want to borrow that self-confidence that he has in himself, and that's why they used to call him the Big Show. And I remember interviewing him when was this, like late 2019, before the last summer began, and one of the questions I asked him was like, at times it looks like the world expects a certain level of cricket or some things from Glenn Maxwell, but Glenn Maxwell seems to expect like 3x or 4x of that, like, in his own head, from his own self. And you can see that. And I've always believed Glenn Maxwell is at his best when nobody expects him to do anything. Like him and Alex Carey won for Australia, the ODI last year. I thought was like classic Glenn Maxwell. Like, people have lost hope and yaar abhi kya hone wala hai, kuch nahi karega. That's when he's at his best, because it almost frees him up, I believe. Naito, he seems to come with so much like, I need to be the Big Show. I need to perform. Like I need to be like a big match player. Most times in international cricket, it hasn't really worked out for him. But, on days when things seem lost,
It does, yeah.
he comes, So, but he's the last man who'll be affected by, this is the price tag mujhe mila hai, because he'll be like, yeah, I deserved it. I deserved more.
Last couple of players that I want to touch on with you. First would obviously be Chris Morris, the most expensive player ever in the history of IPL. Have franchises not taken a look at his injury records? वो कोई भी IPL पूरा नहीं खेलता है. वो आधे टाइम IPL आने से पहले इंजर हो जाता है. Why has he been paid so much money?
ताकि वो इंजर नहीं हो और एक पूरा सीजन खेले. So, yeah, I mean, he's like the perfect example of what we were talking about earlier. ना ये mini auction में कैसे आपको ज्यादा पैसा मिल सकता है? Like,
right place at the right time.
Yeah, right place, right time. He's a good. I like him. I remember interviewing him many years ago too. I think the last T20 World Cup. And I never interacted with him before that, but he just seems like such a nice guy, and like, so into his cricket, and he knows, like, you can see he's a cricket nerd. Like he really, like, the sport means a lot more to him than just playing it. So I'm happy for him, but like, how can you not be? He could actually end up being that guy where people are still looking at it as like, did he even need that much money? Like, with Glenn Maxwell, it's still like one side of you thinks that, but it is Glenn
He
Maxwell.
might.
on
He
his day.
might.
He might.
Yeah.
With Kyle Jamieson, you look at him as like, but he is the next big thing, or that's how people are looking at him. Jai Richardson and Riley Meredith, they have that X factor. With Chris Morris, like people are like, of course he didn't deserve that money. So I think of all the people, he has the best chance to succeed because, despite going for so much money, he's kind of the underdog pick of this auction.
Wow, that is a weird way to put it, Bharat. The last player I want to speak about is obviously Krishnappa Gautam went for quite a bit. Harbhajan Singh as an off-spinner also went for 2 crores to KKR. So Bharat, if the question that I want to ask you is, if I start pulling off spin now, maybe in a couple of years, do I have a chance to get picked up by CSK? I'll meet the age bracket anyway.
Having written a book on Dhoni, I should know something about this, shouldn't I? But like, yeah, nah, I don't think so. You're too urban for his liking. You need to be a little more desi to get under Dhoni's wing. But yeah, see, it's Krishnappa Gautam, like he's an X factor player, right? Like, you know, he has won a lot of matches for his state, but even in the IPL, you've seen him do it with the bat. It also tells you the fact that they've bought Moeen Ali and Gautam tells you that Dhoni has, if not outwardly, but internally at least, accepted that he's not the same finisher he was, which, I mean, there's no surprise. He is like doing this for so long. It was going to,
Right.
it just never stays the same. But you can make out that it means that they need like guys like, you know, who can turn a game around towards the end. I mean, they already have Sam Curran, I think, but who knows? Maybe that's the only reason. And how much money these guys go for, that's just the auction, man. That's how it works. I don't think it is
we
really.
should never look at the price tag, really.
Yeah,
I think the best reaction was Jaydev Unadkat's reaction for going for 11 crore. Like after he went for 11 crore, a press person was asking him, a journalist was asking him, "Ke, why do you think that happened?" And he said, "मुझे क्या पता ये क्यों हुआ?"
Exactly. Yeah.
Bharat, just wanted to ask you, are you tired of speaking about Dhoni now? So you've been speaking about him, you've written a book about him, and if every podcast or every such interview or every such session that you would do, you would be asked about Dhoni quite a bit because obviously he's MS Dhoni. Are you tired of speaking about him?
I'll tell you, there was a brief period when he retired when I did like do a lot of things. I did lots of podcasts. I was on lots of radio shows here, and I even did one like you know my connections with the Caribbean. I did one on a live Radio Jamaica, and it was like an evening show. It was morning here, but it was like evening there, so 6 p.m. And all I kept thinking about, it was a 15-minute show, me talking about Dhoni. All I kept thinking about was, if I'm a Jamaican guy, like, you know, Kingston, driving back from work, I turn on to Radio Jamaica, it's my routine, and there's some Indian guy talking about MS Dhoni. Why? Like, you know, so I actually, like, you know, made it a point, like, I kept picturing myself as that guy in the car.
Audience.
So I kept talking to them, only talking about, or not only, there aren't so many connections MS has with Jamaica, but a little bit that I remember, I could recall, I told them about how of all the, he loves his mangoes, but he loves the Jamaican mangoes. So
Nice.
Or like, you know, about how, like, you know, he loves coming there. He can be himself, and he loves, like, you know, staying in the hotels, which is again not true because he hates the hotel service. But like, just so that, like, you know, someone has something. So that was the only period where after a point I was like, yeah, I mean, can someone ask me about something else? I've done other things in life as well. But no, I don't think I ever like get tired talking about him because there's so much to talk about him, right? Like, he is he's one of those gifts that never stops giving. So that's good, though.
Very, very cool. Yeah. Bharat, let us come to the actual reason why we are doing this podcast.
Thank you.
Let's so in my notes for this segment I've just written, let's nerd the fuck out about wrestling.
Yes,
Bharat,
please.
why the fuck is Vince not pushing Cesaro, man? Why?
I don't know, man. Like, yeah, you said that it was because of his accent, and which is true. I've heard that a lot. Like, you know, and honestly, guys, all I do when I'm not working on cricket is I listen to wrestling podcasts. I watch wrestling. I speak to people about wrestling, and that's all I do. So Cesaro, I think it's just a question of his he's got the look, he's got everything that going for him, but maybe his time has come and gone. Like, maybe Vince doesn't look at him like that. I think he's unfortunately seems to have come into that bracket what I've heard the likes of X-Pac used to be. Like, if you want to test a young wrestler out, like if you're good against Cesaro, like then you're good against then you're good for the big push. So
like a gateway for NXT people, जैसे Dolph Ziggler का role था. Someone gets called from
First feud
NXT.
will always be against
Dolph
Dolph Ziggler or Baron Corbin.
Exactly. So it's a pity, but
just before people start piling onto us, yes, we know it is not real. Yes, we know it is a TV show. We still love it. We still
It
follow
is real. It is real. It's just scripted.
It is real to me, damn it.
No,
It is still real to me.
It's scripted.
it's the greatest. It's theater, man. It's like the greatest form of athletic theater you can get in the world.
Art,
Absolutely. And the business side of it is and that's why I started listening to these wrestling podcasts, and now I can't get over it. Like, the
Which
business
podcast
side.
do you listen to?
Oh, there's this guy called Conrad Thompson, like who.
Conrad,
so he's got all these podcasts. So he's got podcasts with Bruce Pritchard and Eric Bischoff and Jim
He has
Ross,
one with Tony Schiavone as well. Yeah.
Tony Schiavone and Arn Anderson. Like, so he's like, and more and more and more. Like, he keeps now Kurt Angle as well. That's the latest one. So
Really?
and the only reason I listen to it is like you learn about the business side of it. And honestly, see, I'm a huge fan of, if you ask me what I am a fan of, it's not like cricket is, of course, you have to be a fan of the sport to be living it, for so long. But I'm a bigger fan of storytelling. Like, the whole concept of sorry to make it so academic, but so it's about the concept of storytelling. Wrestling is all about storytelling, right? Like how you build up a story to which is exactly what we do. I mean, as narrators, as chroniclers of the sport, right? Like, see, that's the thing. Like, journalism is that. Like, our job is not to give opinions. Like, podcast mein aake, when I'm writing an opinion piece, tabhi opinion diya to theek hai. But otherwise, it's storytelling. I am a booker, in many ways, to use a wrestling term. So I'm really wo ho gaya hai. Like, the only difference is Booker writes the script before the match happens. Here, I've seen something happen, and then I'm kind of writing the script, explaining the story of what happened. And that's one of the most intelligent things I've ever said in my life. So I'm going to give myself the
But you have no idea how nice it feels to hear the word Booker on a conversation, on an actual conversation with real people. Just to wind up on that, if you are truly a fan of storytelling or long-term storytelling, which is the reason I follow wrestling for, do you watch AEW at all?
I started watching it because I heard about it from these guys, and I have watched a lot of AEW shows, and their storytelling is good. But I guess it's also different. I mean, people always criticize the WWE for not having that kind of long format storytelling, and Vince McMahon gets a lot of flack for it. But again, it goes back to they are a TV product, at the end of the day, and they have sponsors, and the fact that they make billions of dollars every year tells you that they're doing something right. Till the time it sells, nobody can point a finger.
But the ratings have started going down now. I say the acceptance of the product has reduced slightly. AEW is in its second year, and it is already beating the WWE product in the key demographic that they look at. They look at the 18 to 49 demographic.
But they're beating a C.
No, not just NXT. So there have been a number of weeks where they've beaten Raw as well in the key demographics, and that's competing a 40-year lineage with a 2-year lineage or 1.5 year lineage.
But I guess the real competition will come if they go head on, head on.
I don't think they'll ever do that. I don't think they'll ever do that. There's
knowing Vince McMahon.
They'll never do that. Also, I in fact think at some point they'll all come together. I just have this very strong.
So Bharat, everybody apart from WWE has come together. That's what AEW is driving.
Exactly. Yeah. I mean, they've got
TNA. They've got people from New Japan.
Exactly. Yeah.
Everybody apart from WWE is working together.
Exactly. Yeah. I think it will happen, man. It will become like a trading system or Yeah, who knows? Like, yeah, and the one thing, like, whenever I do speak to Eric Bischoff, is like he would have loved the IPL as a product. Like, it's such, it is so in his, like, it's
Show
something
business.
that you could have pictured,
Yeah.
like, because Lalit Modi was the Eric Bischoff of India, if you think about Indian cricket.
Absolutely. Wallah, what
he-
a bang on analogy, man.
He really was, like, he did things more differently than everyone. He made it more
Yeah.
realistic. And it was just a matter of, like, he didn't know where to cross that because he was
Like
not a
Eric
politician.
Bischoff, he did not know where to stop.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Yeah, it was beyond his control, and I think a lot had to do with the fact that he was not a politician. Like, if he had been a politician, maybe
Yeah,
because
yeah.
he didn't have enough backers. Like, so in
Yeah.
India, it's all about that. There you go. We learned something today. Lalit Modi and Eric Bischoff.
Cut from the same cloth. Bharat, it was an absolute pleasure speaking to you, man. I mean, I'm not sure if I've enjoyed any podcast as much as I've enjoyed this one. Lovely speaking to you, and thank you for taking time out. Hope you had a
Thanks,
good time.
Bharat.
as well.
Oh, I had a great time, boys. Thank you so much. Like, thank
Yeah.
you so much for having me on. And yeah, maybe we should do it again in the future where we have
with a
more
major
and less
wrestling.
cricket. Yeah, exactly. All right.
Thank you, Bharat.
All right. See you guys. Cheers. Thanks.